Alright, so Rookie Repairs back again. Today what we're going to do is replace the rotors and the brake pads on the 2000 Mitsubishi Eclipse. Alright, so I have 4 jack stands right there, 1 on each side, and also a floor jack. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, let's go to remove the lug nuts. Let's go to remove the wheels. Alright, so next thing we want to do is remove the bolts, 2 bolts that's holding the caliper bracket. This one right here. This one on the bottom. This one right here. This one right here. Alright, let's go and remove those 2. The size for that is a 17 millimeter. Alright, let's go and spray this. Some WD-40 or freeze off. Alright, let's go and loosen those 2 bolts. That one is there. The size for that one is 17 millimeter. Alright, for this one we need to use a pry bar. See, it's pretty tight. Same thing with the top one. Just gotta remove this bottom one. So the top one. This one right here. Alright, just gonna break that loose with the pry bar as well. Alright, so before we break this top one loose, just gotta remove this bolt right here. So you can move this brake line out of the way. This one right here. The size for that bolt is a size 12 millimeter. Move this line out of the way. Alright, so you don't want to damage any brake lines right here. Alright, so let's go to move this out of the way so it can fit our breaker bar right here. Alright, just gonna break this loose now. There you have it. Both top one and bottom one loose. Alright, just go and remove those. Same thing with the bottom one. Alright, so we don't lose any bolts. Just gonna put that little bolt back in there. Alright, just gonna remove the bottom one. Just go to remove it. After that, just want to move your caliper to the side. Just go ahead and wiggle it. Alright, so you just want to put it to the side. Let's move this to the side. Just go to remove the caliper. Just go to wiggle it. So there you have it. So I grab a bucket so I can just rest my caliper there, so I don't have it hanging. So I don't damage any hoses. Alright, so there's my caliper. There's a rotor. Just gotta remove it. Loose. Just go to remove it. It's not in bad condition, but we got new rotors, So let's go ahead and replace it. Before you put the new rotors on, let's go ahead and clean this surface right here. All right, after that, let's go ahead and grab the new rotors, put it back on. All right, so here's the new rotors and the old one. All right, just gonna get the new rotors back on. So there you have it. All right, just gonna put the caliper back on. But before that, let's go ahead and push this back in. The piston. This one right here. Just gonna push it back in. All right, so what we have to do is push that piston back in. All right, so there's better tools for this one, but for this job, this is the only tool we have. So let's go ahead and push that back in. As you can see, it's going back in there. All right, so there you have it. All right, so it's all the way back in now. All right, let's go ahead and remove this tool. Just go ahead and back it up. All right, let's go ahead and remove this. Brake pads. All right, just gonna clean all this right here. Just grab our toothbrush again. Remove all that dust. Just gonna brush this first. Brush it off. After that, we'll spray our brake cleaner. I'm just gonna spray our brake cleaner now. Just gonna spray this off. Alright, just gonna put our caliper back on. Let's remove this pad. Or you can keep it on. Just go ahead and put it back on. Alright, let's go ahead and put the 2 bolts for the caliper back on. Let's go ahead and hand tighten it. Go ahead and align it. The bottom one too. Alright, so for the torque spec for those two is 74 foot-pounds. After that, add 7 foot-pounds. So it should be about 81 foot-pounds after that total. Alright, just gonna torque those down. After that, we just have to remove the caliper right here from the top right here and replace the brake pads right here. Alright, let's go ahead and torque those first. 74 foot-pounds. After that, add 7 foot-pounds. Just total of 81. Alright, let's go ahead and remove this and replace our brake pads. Alright, so the next 2 bolts we have to remove. This one right here and the one on the bottom right here. Alright, just gonna remove those 2. Alright, so I'm just gonna use my breaker bar there just to make it easier. Just gonna break it loose. Alright, so we got the top one. Let's get the bottom one. Alright, so after you break them loose, just go to remove them. Alright, same thing. Just put that to the side. Alright, just gonna clean all that dust right there. Wipe it off. After that, go ahead and spray your brake cleaner on there. Alright, so last thing to do is replace the pads. Alright, so just go ahead and pull this out. So the one with this, you can see that this part right here has a little hook sticking out. That one has to go in the back right here. So it always have to be in the back. Just gonna remove this. Put our new ones on. Just gonna replace the bottom one. Just pull it out. Before you replace it, just gonna clean it there. Wipe it down. Same thing. The top one, wipe it off. Do that, hook it back on. Your new one. So as I mentioned, the new one, this back right here always has to be in the back. Just gonna put that one back on. Alright, just gonna put the new one back on. Just gonna slide it. Alright, so there you have it. Just gonna put the one in the front. Alright, so before you do that, you want to add grease right here inside here. You see that? Right there. Just gonna add grease in there before we put the caliper back on. So you see, it has grease. First, you want to clean that off and add grease right there. Alright, just go ahead and do that. Alright, so here's the bolt. Just go ahead and wipe that off. After that, just go ahead and add the grease around there. This is the other side. Same thing, just go ahead and wipe it off. That goes right here. Alright, just gonna put this back on. Slide it in there, just like that. Alright, so there you have it. Just gonna put the caliper back on. That's the last thing to do. Alright, just gonna put the caliper back on. Just gonna align it. Same thing with the bottom one. Just go and align it. Alright, so let's go ahead and torque these two bolts. For the caliper body, the top bolt right here, and the bottom right here. So the torque spec for those is 54 foot-pounds. After that, add 8 foot-pounds. So it should be 62 foot-pounds. Alright, let's go ahead and torque those down. Alright, so after that, pretty much done. Just gonna connect this little hose right here back on. It goes right there. Alright, so once you torque those two down, last thing to do is go ahead and tighten that 12mm bolt right there. Alright, just gonna tighten that. Alright, so there you have it. There's a sliding pin right there. Nice movement. Alright, just gonna put our wheels back on. So the procedure is gonna be the same for the other side. Alright, just gonna put the wheels back on. Alright, just go ahead and tighten all the bolts, torque it down. So it's gonna be the same process for the driver's side. Alright, so in my next video, I'm gonna show you how to bleed the brake system. Alright, so keep an eye on that. Alright, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.